Hello and welcome to day 161 of Facebook Live, 365 days of Facebook Live. So I'm gonna keep it keeping it light, like I've been keeping it this week. And I want to share with you a story about my first time smoking Blue Lotus. I've been wanting to experiment with different things that like I saw somewhere along the lines that you can smoke herbs besides weed, obviously, and that you can get like a really good experience from it. So I do not have a very good relationship with weed. When I smoke weed, I get very anxious. My body goes numb. I don't know if I've necessarily have an allergic reaction to it, or if it's just that I had a really bad high when I was around 16 years old, 17 years old. And I don't know if it was lace. I don't know if it was just, I don't know what it was. It was such a long time ago, but ever since then, I haven't had a really good relationship with weed. So I was like, okay. And I've tried many times afterwards with Ron and just with people that I know and trust. And I just can't do it. So I'm like, all right, I just put that down in the sense of like, this is just not something that I do really well with. So I saw something about smoking Blue Lotus, smoking lavender, that can get a really good feeling from it. I'm like, all right, cool, let me try it. Finally found someone. We were in this group chat thing, and she was smoking. She's had like a little bit of Blue Lotus. So I was like, ooh. And then I found out that she has it in a pocket carry store. So I messaged her and I asked her if she had some Blue Lotus. She's like, yep, I do. Da-da-da. This is how much it is. I'm like, great, perfect. Here's the money. Send it over. I get it. Ron and I smoke it, and he rolled it up like a joint. I smoked the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. And I'm smoking it like nothing at all. Like just like a completely, like if I was smoking a whole, like I've been smoking it forever. I didn't even give it 1 or 2 hits to see how my body would respond, because either way, we all have allergic reaction to things. Maybe I could have an allergic reaction to that. I'm not thinking this at the time, right? This is what I'm telling you now. But I just smoked the whole thing with him. And come back inside. I go to turn, like we kind of hang out, chit chat, da-da-da. Come back inside, turn the TV on. He goes into his office. And all of a sudden, I start to feel weird. I start to feel like not connected to my body. I start to feel very similar that I do with weed. So it's just like, oh my God. And I get up, my legs are shaking. It feels like my legs are shaking. I'm walking. I'm like, am I gonna what's happening? I'm like, am I gonna have a really bad response to Blue Lotus as well? Maybe I just don't do well with herbs and smoking them. So I go into the room and I'm like, he looks at me, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know if I'm having a good response to this. He's like, okay. So Ron is very, very centered, very grounded, and no matter what, like his energy is always like this. He doesn't go up, he doesn't really go down. It's just like pretty much here. So he's like, okay. So he starts rubbing my back and gets me a little closer to him. And my heart is pounding. Like my heart is pounding, and I was gonna tell him, can you feel my heart? Feel how fast my heart's pounding? But I was like, I don't want to make this worse than what it is. I'm like, I don't know what I'm feeling. Like I really don't know what it is that I'm feeling. I'm like, am I psyching myself out? Like because I smoked it like an entire weed, like an entire blunt, right? Or a little whatever you call it. Like am I just having am I psyching myself out? So we go to the couch, we come in here, we sit, we turn the TV on, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, can you just spend some time with me? So we sit on the couch. I'm feeling weird. I'm starting to feel that feeling that where I can't swallow, which is something that I would feel a lot with weed, where I feel like I can't swallow because my mouth is just so dry perhaps, or maybe it is somewhat of an allergic reaction with weed. I'm like, I can't swallow and I'm just having a hard time. Like, okay, and I'm also starting to feel really tired. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just go lay down. And maybe just go to sleep and just sleep it off. So I'm like, can you come to bed and lay down with me? So he comes to bed, he lays down with me, and I'm like kind of falling asleep. He's massaging me and he's soothing me, which every time he touches me, like my whole body just like relax. It just feels so good. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm okay. Like, I'm still alive. I haven't gone to the hospital yet. I think I'm fine. And Ron's telling me these things like, okay, well, have you ever really needed to go to a hospital? Like, has that happened before? I'm like, no. He's like, okay. So, right. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to go. And I'm like, okay, well, just come in and check on me to make sure I'm still alive and breathing. He's like, okay, I will. So he goes back into his office, and then I'm trying to fall asleep, and I'm kind of feeling not connected with my body. It was very weird. I really don't like that feeling. And then he comes back into the room, and then I hear him. I'm like, I'm still alive, just so you know. So I messaged the girl the next day, and I was like, what the fuck happened? I was like, I did not know you can get such a high from that. I felt like I was smoking weed. She's like, no, you're not supposed to get like that. She's like, you probably had like a trauma response. You know, it does happen. I'm like, shut up. Are you serious? That's such a thing? She's like, yeah, it's you know, it happens. Our mind will create scenarios, and you probably just had a trauma response from a past experience, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, she's like, you're not supposed to feel at all like high, like if like on marijuana. I was like, okay, let me try this again. So I told Ron what happened about what she responded. He's like, yeah, because I didn't feel anything. So we laughed about it the next day about how my reaction was to it. So now we have like, you know, a whole little container. So now I'm like, okay, let me just do 2 hits and see what happens with the Blue Lotus. Nothing happened. Nothing at all. Nothing crazy. I did 3. Then the week after, a couple days later, I did 3. So far, nothing. And then 4. So far, nothing. So clearly, it was just my brain associating a past experience, probably because I wasn't careful in introducing myself to it. I just smoked the whole thing with Ron as if like I did it on a normal basis, that my brain triggered me into a trauma response like I did with weed, which was really bizarre. So if you're ever going to try like Blue Lotus or something else, I recommend that you take a couple of hits first, and don't think because it's just another herb that you've never had an experience with that you're going to be fine. Maybe you will. However, your brain might trick you into doing something differently. So just take that into consideration, you know? In terms of any effects that I feel on Blue Lotus, I don't necessarily feel a euphoria. That's what you're supposed to feel. I don't necessarily feel that. Maybe I need to work as I'm working my way up to regulate my body so it doesn't create a trauma response from before. Maybe I'll feel that euphoric feeling. So we'll see. But anyways, that's my story for today. Thought I would share it, and let me know if you have any experiences like that of your own. I would love to know and laugh together at our sillinesses. And that's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.